Hey guys, this is GamerCal moving on this bed probably making a lot of noise, but that in the Genius of Sapphir's Touhou Weekend Edition. And, well, this time we have to take on the middle sister, Viotubs. Or Viotubers, I don't know how exactly it's supposed to say that, but I know it's Vio because it's part of Greek stuff apparently. So yeah, this is the party we're going to be using. And I know I said so yeah twice there. I don't care. This fight is a little bit weird, to say the least. There's not really a whole lot of damage threat from it, but there's a lot of annoying conditions within it for damage and stuff. And of course, Vio still has the same 65,000 HP that Annis had, but Annis is the one with the regen, not Vio, so thankfully we won't have to deal with that part of things. However, she is a turtle goddess, and if we've seen turtle stuff by now, you know exactly how that's going to go in terms of damage, really high physical defense, and somewhat high magic defense, and a weakness to strike and water. Those are the core principles here, but unlike the turtles, Vio also has 110 evasion, which means that she kinda dodges a lot of basic physical, so yeah, that's obnoxious, but let's just go into what we have here and we can show how we're going to deal with this. So, Moko's going to be our main tank here, decent amount of HP, the MP with the Magic Ring 4 is really quite high, so that is good. I made her tier 6 weapon because it has an extra bomb, and the HP is quite nice as well. Ignore defense is kinda cool, although it doesn't happen too often. Happens often enough though, and there's no need for status conditions in this fight because Vio is not going to get hurt by them anyway, so that is fine. Excuse me, just had to scratch a bit there. So, yeah, we have the Diamond Shield for our defense because there's not really much reason to use anything else. I mean, it can defend against elements, it can defend against physical. I guess I could have a Magic Shield here because she is more of a mage type than a physical attacker, but oh well, this is what I'm going with. And we have the Ogre Mail because it's the best heavyweight gear I have, no point in using much else. So then, just extra bombs, extra MP so she can cast the stuff, although this is maybe not necessary for the fight because it doesn't last long enough. So, instead of that, you can change that if you wish to Rage Choker 3. Or if you have Strength Ring, that doesn't give quite as much. So, yeah, Rage Choker 3 is probably better here because the Magic Ring just is unnecessary. It's not going to be a long-lasting fight to the point where I'm going to need that much MP. Plus, I'm going to be focusing more on the bomb attacks because they are more powerful than stuff like Mark Punch. So, yeah. Mark Punch will also miss more often, whereas Fujiyama Volcano kind of doesn't seem to miss a lot. I guess it has a higher accuracy because multi-hit moves seem to have lower accuracy in this game as a whole, so there's that. And then the Boreas Amulet is an interesting final thing here, but it essentially gives me 20% extra water damage. And you might think, oh, but Moko's fire, not water, but we will change that during the fight. It does nullify her natural fire resistance, but doesn't matter. I haven't seen Vio use a fire attack anyway, and even if she did, it wouldn't be a particularly strong one, so whatever. Byakuren, we have of course her main weapon here, partly for amplifying scroll, mostly because it's just the best thing I have for her at the moment. She isn't going to be attacking anyway, so that doesn't matter. The prop shield here doesn't really matter too much. I should probably be using the golden turtle shell because it's better, like defense, and the fact of it resists stab as well. I forgot that I even didn't have this thing equipped to someone yet, so you know, there is that. Then her specific armor, the magic evade is really kinda cool, although I haven't had it work yet, but that's just block-based stuff. So then she's a bit more resistant to stun, although I don't think that matters too much. I just couldn't think of much better, you know, a much better thing to give her. Some extra HP and some extra speed so that she hopefully goes ahead of most of the cast here. Moko's still kind of quicker for the most part, but I think that's because she gets extra speed from the formation more than anything else. But she generally will go ahead of my other two magician-based attackers, so that's kind of important. So then Sanai, don't be fooled by the fact of she has Slayer against Vio here. That will not make a difference. Sanai will not be able to do damage because she just isn't powerful enough, but whatever. Mirror Shield for reflected magic stuff, specific armor, even though it's a bit weak on the defense at this point, because it does have bombs +2, and I want a lot of bombs on Sanai, just in case things do somehow go wrong and I need to mass revive. That is kind of important. Beyond that, Vio uses stab attacks, as I found out in testing, so yeah, she uses lance-based skills like Dragon Wave, Void Slice, that sort of, or not Void Slice, what's the move? Imperial Charge. I know there's a Void one as well, but it might actually be called Void Slice, but I thought that was the magic attack thing from the portal-like monsters in the previous stage. But anyway, she has that, she has an extra bomb so that she can cast one skill at the start, which will be important, and she has a ribbon just because it's universal defense. Most of Vio's arsenal is single target basic attacks, so elemental stuff, you know, Shadow Boom, Ice Chill, that sort of thing. So having a little bit of defense to them is quite good, and of course the permanent effect stuff is good as well, but I don't think that matters too much in this fight. For Patchouli, we just have a little bit of elemental resistance because, again, I haven't seen Starblaze used, so I'm not too worried about the light weakness, and even if that does come into play somehow, she has magic defense, Patchouli, and with 150 extra HP it should be okay. 30 magic attack and the Rod of Mannanen instead of her tier 6 book, because this not only gives her more magic attack, which is quite sad when you think about it, it's, you know, considering this is a really old staff at this point. This is, what, stage like 13, 14, somewhere around about there? So yeah, this is a pretty old weapon by now, but it gives extra water damage, and that is very nice. Do note that the Element Guard and the Rod of Mannanen do not stack with each other. So you see I still only have a 50% resistance despite having a 50 and a 25 separate here. They don't stack because this game is weird like that. Then we have Satori using her tier 5 eye because that's the best thing I've got basically, but it also does no magic sometimes, so that's quite good. And this is the strongest other armor that I have for at the moment, the Philosopher's Robe, because Patchouli is using the stronger one, so there is that. But basically Satori has more magic attack and more induction, because I have found that debuffs do work in this fight, at least the one which I intend to use, so it's worth having those around. And then Commander is Aya solely because she's the lowest level character and because the Tori's skill makes no difference in this fight. I tried using the Tori's free bomb skill for a particular gimmick and it just doesn't work. So this is basically who I'm going to go with, and yeah, that is everything for that. So growth wise, we have same usual stuff here, you know, multiple physical attack hitting. Soulfinger is not worth it. There will be a reason to use the maxed out Fist Tree later on, but Soulfinger is not worth the investment here, because Mark Punch does more damage. Soulfinger just does a like single relatively high power hit, but it's maybe 30-40% more damage than a regular attack would be, and Mark Punch can hit 4 times, so you know there's not really much point in using Soulfinger, especially when your weapon can already ignore shields, not shields, defense and stuff like that. So, and actually it does ignore shields as well, so yeah, the one-shot punch is really cool for that. Anyway, MP cost down as we've seen before, and I unfortunately don't have enough points to get the bomb +1 from here, so we're sticking with the 20 physical attack, and I didn't know where else to really put the extra points. I wanted 30% HP, and the auto resurrection doesn't really matter. I could probably just put that into the imperishable nitrate, but I don't think it matters enough to really warrant it, because physical attack stuff isn't going to happen too often. It doesn't increase shield activation rate, which would have been the reason for me to put stuff into this tree. And you never know, Moko might die, and because she's the center of my Neo Hakurai formation, if she goes down, I kind of wanted to try and revive herself as quick as possible. So then we get Byakuren, who has 58 points at this time. And basically I want Amplifying Scroll. I've decided that this skill tree is kind of worth it, although I don't know if it's worth having offset to overwrite, because I haven't seen any debuffs in this fight yet, so it's probably not worth it, and I could use these points here and maybe that point to go back into casting. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to change stuff on the fly again here, because I have not seen a reason to use offset to override in this fight. So I might be wrong, but that's what we're going to do. So then Sanai, who's only 4 power levels away from level 70 at this point, this is really good, because that's the key thing which I need for the end here. She can get to 16 points in her Faith Tree, which is good, because that means she gets more HP, and the MP is quite nice too, but 5% extra HP is pretty good. And yeah, that's essentially what we're going to go with. I could go ahead and use Yokai Hunting for the extra speed and magic attack stuff, but I honestly think that the Faith Tree is just better to start with here. I mean, you want to get to the bottom of this tree as quickly as you can, because the bombs +2 is really, really good for Sanai, but I don't want to sacrifice any of the other trees, because you know, HP on revival, maxing out revives on Source of Rains is too good, you know, not to have, and of course the State of Strength is mandatory as well. So yeah, Sanai's kind of stuck with that at the moment, but this is definitely the third tree you should max. And then you can go for Yokai Hunting, or if you decide to use the Snake, that would also work, because then you could have Vampiric Staff in here too, which is quite nice. Then for Patchouli, I actually do not have Magic Mastery maxed this time, because her cast speed is not super essential for this, and I decided, because I'm going to be focusing on the Waterland so much, that attacking twice is better than potentially getting a critical hit with my magic, because I think this is more likely to work than the Mastery, and it also let me have Magic Evade here as well, which, whilst not essential, having a 10% chance to just dodge magic attacks is actually pretty good, because then Patchouli just, you know, gains a bit more survivability because of the primary focus on magic here. So yeah, rather than the cast speed stuff, that is what I've decided to go with. And then Satori doesn't need max learning for this fight, because she already knows all of the attacks that she could learn, and taking points out of here allowed me to once again get 16 points into the I tree, so I can have 10% perfect dodge, which is still useful despite the magic focus in this fight, because of the stab based attacks that Vio uses. So yeah. Finally, just bombs. Obviously your commander only needs bombs, so there is that. Finally we get the skills, and Moko, same as always. Zufu is really, really important for this fight if you do not use Alice, so you absolutely must have Zufu's Dimension if you don't want to use Alice in this fight. So, or I guess you might be able to use Reimu in this fight as well, but Reimu doesn't have any specific advantages to this fight, and yeah, basically, if you don't have Reimu or Alice, you must use Zufu's Dimension or Private Square. That works too, but we'll get to the reasons for that later. Byakuran, fairly standard stuff here. I mean, elemental weapons should be fairly obvious because Moko's fire-based and we need to change her to being water-based. This will overwrite the Fujiyama Volcano's added fire damage, so this, it will turn Fujiyama Volcano to a water attack, which is important, as you would obviously figure. So yeah. And accuracy up because I found I don't really need Hyper Trigger. I could keep Hyper Trigger for, induction buff stuff, and I could maybe just get rid of Goddess Breath for it actually, because I haven't found myself needing it in my my playthrough stuff here, like my couple of test games. So yeah, Goddess Breath is really good, but Hyper Trigger on Satori, if she has space for it, would be pretty solid, because then debuff stuff will happen a bit more often. But otherwise, accuracy helps for Moko because Mark Punch will miss against Vio, which is annoying. And otherwise it's fairly standard, just all up, spell enhanced weapon bless. Sanae will be initially handling spell increasing, but later on we'll change it out with Byakuran here. Speaking on Sanae, one of the more important skills that I've been using just to assist in my survival here, because I don't have Alice, I may as well use this instead, just to raise everybody's HP. It's a solid skill. The catch is that you don't get the HP immediately. You get your max HP increased, but you do not recover that HP as well. So I think it's about a 25% HP buff, and you need to heal that HP. So Satori will probably be working in tandem with Sanae turn 1 to make sure that happens. Otherwise, standard medium heal. I still don't need super healing miracle. Yeah, it's super healing. I still don't need the really high health one yet. Only really Alice would need that. So that's fine. Saucer Reigns is obviously the multi-revive in case shit hits the fan, and an AoE heal as well as a res buff that I have not actually needed to use yet, but I don't have enough space for other buffs anyway. Sanae's weakness when it comes to buffs is, ironically, her strength at the same time, is the multi-target nature of the buffs, because Sanae herself is okay with a magic attack buff, but Moko definitely doesn't need it. Byakuran doesn't need it because she's not attacking with magic in this fight, and that can cause conflicts because you can only have 5 variety status at a time, and yeah, it doesn't help when all of your spots are filled. So that's a bit of a problem. But otherwise, it's okay, because Patchouli is going to be our other damage dealer here. And, yeah, I'm probably not going to use Jellyfish Princess, at all. I'm just going to put that out there now. I don't see me using Jellyfish Princess because of the way this fight tends to go. The field spells are incredibly important. If you don't have Patchouli, you should probably have Sakuya or Aya in your party to help with the field spell stuff, because it is extremely important in this fight to have stuff that way. So because of the fact that Arctic Chill takes a bomb, I actually have active land as well, so that I can have every 3 turns I could use this and overwrite a field spell which is in play. Because yeah, Vio's going to use a ton of fields and it's annoying. Otherwise, Active Elemental on the first turn, Ice Falcon is going to be my main attack, and that'll be that. And then Satori, I went through a couple of iterations with Satori, and I have not actually tested Tsunami yet, but since the Waterland is going to be in favor all the time, Tsunami will be able to work. And I don't know how much damage it does compared to Ice Chill, but if it does reasonable enough damage, then I might, get lucky and get the debuff here as well, so the evasion drop would be quite nice. But Leaf Shield is quite good for keeping characters like Byakuran or Sanae alive, because Vio doesn't focus on AoE moves, at all. She has a couple of hit more than one character moves, but their column or pierce based attacks, mostly her physicals. So this works quite well. Reflect Wall was something I tested but didn't work as I expected it to, so that's okay. It's just not going to get used. Area Heal because I'm using Neo Hakare formation, so I can heal everyone in one go. And of course Moko in the center of said formation means that I can have survivability there as well. And Acid Storm's physical defense drop does actually work in this fight, so long as I have self-induced hypnotism on. And maybe Hyper Trigger. We'll see if I can fit Hyper Trigger in as well. And if I can, then I'll probably get that defense debuff. And that's really big, because Vio's defense is somewhere around about 600. It's 5 to 600, somewhere around there. It's pretty significant, so having this debuff would be very good. And then Aya doesn't matter because she is not the one who is fighting. So yeah, that is our party. Now let's proceed. So we've once again reached the end of a section, and uh-oh, here comes the mist. This mist is gonna like just come on through. Heavy mist is forming. It's the same as the instant, but it seems like Satori is actually getting afflicted by it this time. But isn't Satori a strong enough yokai for this? Surprised that Satori got afflicted by it before Patchouli did, but maybe Satori hasn't had as much exposure to it, I don't know. But yeah, lifeless feeling indeed here. But it seems like it's not just the yokai here, it seems the human characters are getting afflicted here too, because Reimu, Marisa, Sanai even, and like Sakuya, they're all getting caught, except for Moko. It's got to be the Instance Mist, indeed. And here comes our answer. Who the heck could do this? Well, appearing out of nowhere is our culprit, Viatos. So yeah, we are one of the culprits. The second Gorgon sister, blah blah blah, Uriel, Gorgon, blah blah blah. But you see, Moko's kind of just standing still here. She's not really getting affected by this at all, which is interesting. But yep, it is indeed the Mist Instance major culprit here, because she's the one who controls it. Yeah, why are the humans affected? Because that's, yeah, misunderstanding, man. So, essentially, the only reason that it has not affected humans before now is because Vio decided that it shouldn't. So, but if you feel like it, it can hurt everyone. Except for Moko, it seems. And Moko's just like, no, come on. We've all done well, but yep, we have. And, well, you've underestimated us a little bit here. So I spread it, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is a much more powerful mist because we are much more powerful enemies. So she's come prepared, that's for sure. Yeah, they would have probably died by now, but we're a little bit strong for that. Oh dear. Reimu's not amused. I'm sure you would. So yeah, Moko was standing unaffected the whole time, so yeah, she's obviously going to wonder why, what the power source is, and apparently life manipulation is the power, but Moko's life is, I guess, kind of forfeit because she's immortal, so you can't drain the life of an infinite life source, right? But yeah, she can buff it too, which is cool, and that's why she is immortal, because she can amplify her own life power. which is, yeah, similar to Horai in a way, I guess. And that's why it doesn't affect Moko. Because Moko is immortal. And, well, she doesn't really like talking about that, but... yeah, someone with that power does exist indeed. Yeah, even a god who has feigned her own immortality can be surprised by a genuine immortal. There we go. So yeah, turtles do live for a long time, that's for sure. Cranes and tills are lucky animals. Alright, fair enough. Yeah. Well, Genji was kind of, yeah, a bit silly with that as well. Right. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? But I was just like, oh dear. But Reimu is in the usual all business, no talk way of thinking right now. Whatever power it may have will defeat you anyway. That is just how it goes. Oh wait, no, I accidentally paused a bit. Okay, so I have apparently just learned a new thing. Apparently you can pause the progression of stuff by pressing the L button. That's weird. It's so weird. I didn't know that you could do that. But hey, I guess if you wanted to take screenshots of what was going on, then you could, which would be kind of neat. Yeah, so that's just it. Wow, that was a much more powerful thing than anything else. But yeah, we kind of wrecked Anna's, so she's wanting. She wants to wants revenge for all of that. So yeah, we were basically going to fight anyway. Why did you start this instant? Not telling. We basically have to go and ask Litos, which is what we were gonna do anyway, so yeah. We'll beat you and get it directly out of Litos. But apparently that's gonna be impossible. Because yeah, she is intending on defeating us herself. So, I apparently just got the Twitter notification because my phone went off. I don't know if that was heard, but whatever, I do not care. Let's go against Vio here. So, this is of course Vidubs. She has a screen. I don't know what to do. I'm in a bit of a silly mood today, I'm sorry. So, this fight is a competition against field spells, basically. Vio casts a lot of different field effects with her Mist, and those effects do a variety of different things. Some of them will inflict set damage on your party, which can probably be reduced by poison shield formation stuff, but I don't have that because it's not as useful as... Well, no, it's probably more useful for stuff here, but I like being able to heal all the party in one go, so yeah, I find this a little bit more beneficial for me. So yeah, she's got that. She can defend herself. She can paralyze you sometimes, which is really annoying. It's not the same as the paralysis status. Maybe we'll get to show that later. Anyway, I'm gonna Zufu Satori for the first turn. Zufu's Dimension, I think I mentioned this before because I'm pretty sure I've used it before, but basically Zufu gives you re-raise and health regen per turn. So you heal HP and you are basically immortal until you, like, you know, take fatal damage. So if you were to die, you would be left with 1 HP for that attack, and then the buff goes away. Otherwise, it's a permanent buff unless it gets vortexed, and I do not believe that vortex is something that can happen in this fight. So yeah, it's essentially a permanent buff. So I think Element Weapon actually doesn't last as long as the other buffs here. So I'm just going to go ahead and Amplify and Scroll turn 1, and then we will Ritual Godly Winds. I'm not going to cast a field spell turn 1 because most of the time Vio does get 2 actions, and most of the time it's her second action that casts the spell. And on the first turn, for whatever reason, she seems to always go last with her second attack. So there's no point in me using that turn 1. I'm also gonna just area heal this first turn because I can then take advantage of the extra HP that I've been granted by Sanai's buff here. This is actually the second time I think I've used this buff in the playthrough for boss stuff. It's quite cool. Yeah, and actually all of our party seems to be going first here, with the exception... Oh wow, she didn't do it this time. Well, way to make me look like a liar. Okay, so apparently she just decided that she isn't going to use her field spells turn 1 this time. I will admit I have not seen that yet, so that is interesting. Okay, so with that done, I think it's time we start buffing Moko here. And I will... how much HP? Patchouli has 459. That's enough to survive one hit at the very least. I think we can live this. So, question is, do I want to set up a field spell now, or do I want to wait and counter hers? I think it's better if I counter hers, even though she can cast field spells when she has other field spells up, and that just gets meta and annoying. I'm gonna Leaf Shield Patchouli actually. So Patchouli will now be immune to the next couple of attacks that hit her. And as you can see, without any buffs whatsoever, even with a weakness, you do not do very much damage to her. So yeah. Wow, she is just not using field spells. I have no idea why. That is weird. That is really weird. I have never seen her do this before. So go figure, right? That the recording one is the really weird one here. And this is where Sanai's buff is going to get in the way, because I really want to use accuracy buffs on Moko as well, but I'm out of space. I need to water element her, and I don't have enough space to do anything else here. Also, the other neat thing with the party setup that I have is everyone except Sanai can get regen now, and I might Zufu Sanai too. I'm tempted to, I don't know if I actually will, but you know what, I'm just going to use the field spell at this point. I don't see a reason not to. But, yeah, I might Zufu Sanai so that she gets regen too. But Moko, because of the Boreas Amulet, has water affinity, so she gets regen in Waterland. Patchouli, of course, has the Rod of Mananon, so she gets regen in Waterland. And I can buff Satori, so that's fine. But basically, everybody can heal, and it's kinda cool, and I'm also not missing at the moment, which is pretty fun. But you can see just how much damage Byakuran's buffs add, and yeah, that kinda hurts. And there is a mist, so that would greatly enhance both of Vio's defenses. But no, Moko doesn't get regen in water, what am I talking about? Yeah, basically her defenses would be enhanced, but because Patchouli is so slow, and one of the reasons why you want to keep Patchouli slow in this fight is so that she can do this, Patchouli is slow enough where she can usually go last in everything, and basically give you priority on your field stuff. As opposed to, say, Aya, who would not necessarily give that, that sort of priority, because Aya always goes first, so... yeah. Anywho, now that we are done with the basic stuff here, I actually can't fit an induction buff onto Satori either here, so that's kind of obnoxious, but I'm going to use Spell Enhance on Pachi here, I think, because even though I have the magic attack buff, I can overwrite it with Byakuran's stronger buff. So that's kind of cool. And then Sanai's job from here is basically healing in characters that need it. So yeah, we're going to go with that. And then I'm going to try and cut physical defense with Acid Storm here, just so that Moko can do more damage. She does a pretty healthy 10,000 damage as it is though, so yeah, it's not going to be mandatory, but if it works, it works, and oof. So you can see, the reason that the HP buff is really good here is because it guarantees that I can survive 2 hits pretty much all the time. So, I don't have to worry so much about my characters just not surviving any of the more powerful hits that come their way. I'm going to induction buff Byakuran herself, I think, because I'm fairly sure that the way that Byakuran's buffs work are more on induction than magic attack. Or maybe that's just buffs in general, but I believe that Byakuran's buffs get stronger when she has induction up, so that's what we are going to work on here. Still going to try and get this defense debuff with Acid Storm, but if I don't get it, well, I'm not going to complain too much because I'm hitting for 10,400 damage a turn, but there it is. And Imperial Charge not going to do very much damage because it's physical, and I can just keep on going here. So yeah, we're going to do a pretty substantial amount of damage here. I am going to keep my element stuff going though, because with my growth tree stuff as it is, Byakuran's buffs will overwrite themselves, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the turn duration will reset, that's what I'm trying to say. So now that I've gone through all of the basic stuff here, let's try Tsunami and see if that does more damage here. Because Ice Chill will do about 2,700 or so. So, ooh, but she does have Leaf Shield, I forgot about that. So, wow, nice double cast. And I get to see 2,100. Okay, that's not bad. So, basically this fight has 3 different phases to it, and we're actually already at the final phase of it now. So, when Fire is between 1/3 and 2/3 of her HP, she gets some different skills added. So she gets stronger physical attacks like Dragon Wave and Void Cutter. Or, is it Void Cutter? It's either Void Cutter or Void Slice. I really don't remember. But the final, second final attack in the Spear Tree. And she also gets a couple of different mists, one of which being Paralyse Mist that stops you moving some of the time, and which is the really hard one to dispel. And she also gets I think it's an attack mist that she gets at that point to amplify her damage. And then when she also gets Leaf Shield added, and I think a couple other skills, but nothing too major. Just the Paralyze Mist is really annoying. And then when she gets down to below 1/3 of her HP, she has Lifestream and well, from the what's its face, the Phoenix in stage 20, this stage here, and Camouflage Mist, which gives her like perfect dodge and magic barrier, which is really annoying. And basically she then gets stuff like Mad Thunder as well, so she gets a bit more firepower towards the end. Still not really enough to warrant any concern. So yeah, I'm gonna spell enhance Satori this turn so that I can get her magic attack up here. And beyond that, it is basically just a case of yeah, kill her, really. That's all I can say. So the evasion drop doesn't actually matter too much in this case, but it's still kind of cool. And the accuracy drop, well, who knows. But thankfully, we can probably just win this turn. Yeah, Ice Chill does a little bit more damage. Oh, we don't win it this turn, oh well. There's Lifestream, so she's overwrote my water field now, which is fine, that's not really too big a deal. Her 250 heal is trivial. Really, there's nothing to be worried about that way, and yeah, this is basically over right now. However, when you do kill her, she has a finishing blow, and that is the reason why you need Mocha. So Agent Drizzle is a multi-target move that bypasses barriers. As you saw, Patchouli had Leaf Shield, so it ignores that. It ignores Reflect Wall, which I tried to use on it. It might even ignore Reimu barriers. I don't know. It's a non-elemental magic attack, as far as I'm aware, that deals 101% of your HP to all characters. Apparently it's affected by divine barriers, but Byakuran died anyway, so I don't know. You know, Byakuran has 20% divine barrier, but she just died, so I don't know. And essentially, it's a party wipe at the very end of an otherwise pretty trivial fight, and that is super annoying. The Tori's Trim Free Bomb Commander skill does not work against it. I tried, yeah, as I said, I tried Reflect Wall, it didn't work, Leaf Shield doesn't work. Basically, nullification stuff is really not easy against it, so the obvious way to deal with it is to use Alice and cover someone just like you did, well, should have done with Yuyuko all the way back in stage 6. So it's the same idea, just cover someone, they don't get hit by the final attack and it's done. But I wanted to use this party because I felt like this party was more optimal in terms of offense and stuff, and I kind of just wanted to use Sanai instead of Alice, really, because I liked what Sanai could do in terms of reviving and healing and stuff. Turns out reviving obviously wasn't needed, but you know, the heal is nice because her single target heal is better than and much quicker than Satori's heals, so yeah, and it's just better than Reimu's heals because Reimu's heals suck hardcore, so there you go. But Zufu's Dimension lets you survive any one attack. You don't have to survive from full health. Of course I did there because, you know, yeah, you don't need to survive from full though. That Aging Drizzle also ignores resistance, so that makes me feel, you know, it makes me think that it's some sort of induction based thing, but I don't know. And yeah, it's just a butt. It's a butt of an attack, but you can survive it by using stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. We're invincible. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. The next stage is going to put a dent in that plan, perhaps. Yeah, that's it. Strange things happen. Yeah, that's it. But now that we're settled, what are you gonna do? Reimu, what are you saying? Will you be good and stop this incident? We could teach you a more painful lesson. Reimu, you spoke too much. Bye! You idiot, Reimu. Oh my god. Reimu is just so dumb in this game. Nothing we could do, and Reimu's just like, shut up already, we just have to keep going, because yeah. Anyway, the only one who is left is Litos, and she knows that we have defeated even Vio. Yep, we are that strong. But I think she may well have a contingency plan for this, right? I mean, she is the leader of this operation, supposedly. She has to have some sort of plan for this, but apparently she's just laughing at the matter. Apparently it's funny to her that she's the only one left. How scary. Okay. She is out of her mind, definitely. The barrier though. This is the thing though. I have a memorable taste of the rapier, because that is her weapon of choice. Apparently she claims to be the strongest Gorgon sister, despite being the youngest one. That's a thing, right? But yeah, that apparently we are going to be going into her barrier, but we will do that next time. At least I reckon we'll do that next time. If you want to go back to the start, by the way, you go here, and this opens up a new teleporter, which was not actually here before. This teleporter will take you all the way to the end of stage 20. So you have this one which takes you to the end of stage 18, you have this one to take you to the end of stage 19, and then you have this one to take you to the end of stage 20. So, with that said, I think we can get some final recipes from Akio. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And, oh no, we can't. Okay, so I guess she only gives you something for defeating Annis, not Vio. That's disappointing. Oh well, this is basically where we're gonna have to stop then, because we haven't got any new stuff to discuss. So, this has been Gamer Cow playing Touhou, the Genius of Sapphires, and next time, oh boy, next time we take on the final stage of the game. We're actually there at this point. We are going to take on stage 21, and it's gonna be scary. But I'm not even gonna demonstrate what is in it right now because I don't feel like it. See you guys next time.